the Nebraska Cornhuskers have received a massive commitment from ginormous 6'6", 330-pound Elijah Pritchett today. The 6'6", 330-pound offensive tackle will be making his way to Lincoln next year to play with the Cornhuskers. I'm here to tell you why this is a massive addition and why he will be a big contributor to the offensive line next year. Coming out of high school in Georgia, he was ranked as a 4- and 5-star, depending on which publication you looked at. He committed to Alabama, and he has been there, and he is a sophomore now. He will be coming in as a junior, having 2 years of eligibility to develop with Donovan Raiola. Now, here's what he's going to be good at right off the bat. This man is a bulldozer in the run game. You have him attack the defensive end, and he will just run him over. This is somebody that we want to run Emmett Johnson behind all year because he is going to crush holes in the opponent's defense. We could have him pull around from one side to the other, and that man will lay the biggest hit you've ever seen in your life. So that's the pros right off the bat with Elijah Pritchett, is he is a mauler in the run game. Really what I think the strength of Elijah Pritchett is the fact that he is just a big, solid slab of marble. And if our coaches are skilled enough and have the know-how that they can chisel him into an elite level, first-round pick level NFL guy, all right? If Raiola gets his hands on him and he corrects his technique and he makes him better in the pass game, which is what we're going to talk about, then I believe this guy can be an elite level player. Now let's get to some of the downsides and what this guy needs to work on as soon as he gets in the building. First of all, he's had some off-the-field concerns. He's had multiple run-ins with the law, but they seem to have been handled internally by Alabama, so I believe as long as he stays in line and the coaches keep him in check, that shouldn't be a problem. Now, the on-the-field concerns. He did not have a great year in pass protection versus these SEC edges. Out there playing right tackle for Alabama, he was getting abused in the pass game. Edges just got right by him. As soon as he took his drop step and got into space, he was lost. People got right by him. Now, watching the tape, that seems to be a problem with his technique and just the mental part of it. He's getting back there. He's big. He knows what to do. But he gets back there and he loses his technique and he panics and people get by him. That's something that he really needs to work on if we want to keep Raiola's jersey clean. The numbers backed up this poor pass protection performance. He let up a team-high 31 pressures and 6 sacks. Now, it's worth noting that his quarterback, Jalen Milroe, did not help him at all in this concern, as he did a lot of running around, letting the pocket collapse on him, staying too long, and taking the sack, making Pritchett's numbers look worse. But these numbers are nothing to ignore. They are a concern for the incoming player. However, get the technique cleaned up, and don't put as much pressure on him. He's not in the SEC anymore. He's not in Alabama anymore. Not that the Big Ten isn't a great conference. It's the best conference. But the edges in the Big Ten, they're bigger, they're stronger. You see a lot less of the super fast, bendy edges and more of the big, strong, Aiden Hutchinsons of the world. And I believe that Pritchett can fare better against these guys. Scheme-wise and fit-wise, given that Pritchett can have a clean offseason and great workouts, I believe he slots right in at right tackle day one. He started most of his games at Alabama at right tackle, and he can be a real mauler in the run game as we run right at that right side, right behind him and Latovsky, double team in the end and giving us massive holes to the right side. I believe with a small back like Emmett Johnson, a giant tackle is huge to make those holes and let Emmett Johnson sneak through every single little bit of space, because that's what Emmett Johnson does. And I believe that's what Pritchett brings to the table. He's going to come in day one and start at right tackle for us for 2 years, and then everything goes well. He's a great player. He gets shipped off to the NFL as a first-round pick, which would be huge for the coaching staff, who has failed to develop a lot of similar build tackles and send them to the NFL. There is no reason that Bryce Benhart, with all his talent and size, shouldn't go to the NFL, but The coaching staff didn't develop him, and I'm hoping it's a different story with Pritchett. And that really brings me back to the point that I'm making, is that Nebraska football needs to bring the pipeline back. We can't get back to the upper echelon of college football if we don't build in the trenches. I love all these transfer additions. Dane Key and Isaiah Hunter. It is excellent, and I love to see it, but we will not succeed without the hogs up front. And the coaching staff seems to be making moves towards that way. We also have the New Mexico State transfer visiting, Shizaiah Pete. If we can get him, that would be massive. But we need to build from the trenches. We need giant guys like Pritchett on every spot on the offensive line. As soon as a senior tackle graduates and goes to the NFL, we need to have a guy that can come in right behind him and play, because that's what the Georgias of the world and the Alabamas of the world have done for the past 10 years. They have hogs up front, and they're dominant in the run game, and they keep the quarterback clean. Regardless of my little rant, I think Pritchett is a great pickup. Don't listen to those Alabama fans that say he's the worst tackle that's ever stepped foot on a football field. If he was so bad, he wouldn't have been starting there all year. Now, Pritchett's a great pickup, and this portal class is really rounding out to be very excellent. I believe it's ranked number 6 in the country now. Last year, it was number 50. Matt Rule is cooking. And if this translates into production on the field next year, there's going to be a lot of happy Husker fans. All right, I'll see y'all later.